Alright, let's talk about IOU. IOU stands for intersection over union, and as name suggests, the equation for it is intersection over union. So what is the intersection? What is the union? Well, the use case for IOU is object detection. And in object detection, we have bounding boxes, which are normally square in shape. So these bounding boxes normally capture some sort of shape. Let's say it could be a person, or it could be a mountain, and there could be another bounding box that would surround the object. However, when you're trying to make your predictions, your bounding box could be very off. So let's say my prediction is, is this shape here. So how accurate is my classification? So how accurate is this? Well, for starters, you could try to measure the intersection between the two, which is here. So the more it intersects, the more you know that it is accurate, because more of the things are overlap, the more similar the two boxes are. However, then you have to standardize for how big the boxes actually are, because, well, if you have a small box here and your other box is massive, although the intersection is 100%, there's a lot of unused space here. And so the IOU gives a good balance between how similar and the overlap is, and how much redundant space that overall is. So a good IOU would be something like this, where there's a lot of overlapping area, but there's not a lot of area outside the overlapped area. So how do you go about calculating this IOU? Well, there's a very neat formula, and that revolves around how you store a bounding box. You store a bounding box usually by storing its minimum x, minimum y, maximum x, and maximum y. This is the four corners of the box, which is min x is here, this is min x, min y, here's also max x, max y. Let's do that again. Here's xy, and then here's xy. So the trick here is, for the top left hand corner, which is always going to have the minimum x and minimum y, get the larger of the two. So that means get the leftmost, the corner of the intersection that's closest to the top right. You see how that works. So first we maximize the min x of both, and you can see this is more to the right than this, hence this is the min x, the max min x. Next we get the max of the min y, which is between this and this. Since this is nearer to the bottom, we choose this. Thus, you can see that the point is actually here, and that is the first point of the intersection that we're trying to find. So same thing, we find the minimum of the maximum x, that is here, minimum of the maximum y, that's here, and boom, we find this corner, and with that we have to find the intersection. The union is fine, it's just set theory. Get the size of one of them, get the size of the other, and subtract the intersection. And so you end up with an equation looking more like intersection over area 1 plus area 2 minus intersection. And this is normally how you calculate it in practice. So yeah, that's it for today. Very short explainer, I'm tired, it's quite late. Hopefully you get to understand what IOU is.